Okay. There's a few things to address here in relation to Bilal al-Habashi. Bilal al-Habashi, of course, one of the famous companions of Rasulullah. His father was called Riyah and his mother was called Jumana. And he had the title of being called Aba Abdullah. Okay? Bilal al-Habashi, of course, originally comes from Abyssinia, which is modern-day Ethiopia. And he was a slave of the famous leader of Quraysh, Safwan ibn Umayyah. Okay? Safwan ibn Umayyah had him as a slave, actually revered him as his best slave. Bilal was not the first from his family to be a slave for Safwan. There was other members as well. But he was the best slave of Safwan ibn Umayyah. One day, a rumor came around that there is a new prophet in Mecca, a man who is spreading the oneness of God, and a man who was spreading the idea that everything is created by God. And Bilal, when he heard this, he was intrigued by it, because he wondered that surely there is more to this life than worshipping the idols which the sons of Umayyah were worshipping. And so he was intrigued by this. One narration states that he would go out every day and listen to the talks that were being given and listen to the rumors of the people about what Rasulullah was preaching. Another story narrates that when one of the companions once came in front of the Quraysh, they said to him, "What's your belief about Muhammad?" He said, "I believe Muhammad is the prophet of God, and we believe in one God." That Safwan bin Umayyah or Abu Jahl or one of these ordered Bilal to whip that person. But Bilal said, "I will not whip him." All of a sudden you are like, "Safwan, would you allow Bilal to reply to you like that?" Safwan said to him, "Maybe there's a problem." Bilal, whip him. Bilal said, "I will not, because I believe what he believes." So Safwan said to him, "So you're saying that you're going against my word? I am the man who bought you as a slave. I've given you a family, property. I look after you. I serve you. I give you food. And now you're going against my God? Okay, Bilal." He said, I'm sure you're going to change your mind, but I'm going to punish you anyway." So he put chains around his hands, he put chains around his feet, and he began to torture him. He began to torture him in the hope that Bilal would change. Did Bilal change? No. He then allowed people from the streets to kick Bilal. They would leave Bilal on the ground, and he would tell the children all to come and kick, and they would all come and kick Bilal, and even there were certain adults. To the extent that Amr ibn al-As even once came and said, "Surely you are torturing him too much." Imagine, Amr ibn al-As said, "You are torturing Bilal too much." Imagine how much torture Bilal was receiving. Until Safwan bin Umayyah thought the best way to make this person leave the God of Muhammad and come back to our God is to put a big hot rock on his body. So he laid him on the sand, on the desert, and when he laid him there, when he laid him there on the desert, they brought a big black rock. And what did they do with this rock? They placed it on Bilal's body. You would think that when someone places something like this on your body, you may change your mind. You may say, "You know what, you do not get tortured anymore. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to believe in God." No. He kept on saying, "Ahad, Ahad, Ahad." There's only one God. There's only one God. There's only one God. Until eventually, his freedom, when Rasulullah heard about how much torture Bilal was receiving, his freedom was bought by who? By Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr spent from his money to buy out Bilal from slavery. Now, some of you may be thinking, and I know what you're thinking, I will come to what the conclusion is about this in a second. So Bilal came out of slavery. When he came out of slavery, he occupied one of the most prominent positions with Rasulullah. What was it? He was the muezzin of Rasulullah. Bilal, when Rasulullah allowed Bilal to become muezzin, it was a big stab to the Arabs. Why? Because on one side, Rasulullah, one of his great companions is Salman. Where is he from? Persia. On the other side, one of his great companions is Suhaib. Where was he from? Rome. On the other side, one of his great companions is Bilal. Where is he from? Ethiopia. In other words, he was telling the Arabs that this religion hasn't come for you. I've got a Roman, and a Persian, and an Ethiopian, and they are three of my best companions. And so he said, "Bilal, go and recite Adhan," because Bilal has a beautiful voice. But there was one problem with Bilal's pronunciation. Yes. Bilal would not say, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah." He would say, "Ashhadu." His sheen, okay, was a seen. Okay? So imagine he comes and says, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah." ashhadu anna Muhammad. So people were like, why you put someone up there who can't even recite adhan properly? Rasulullah said, the sheen of Bilal, okay, the scene of Bilal is sheen in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Therefore you found that he occupied this prominent position. He fought in the battle of Badr, in the battle of Uhud, in the battle of Khandaq, until eventually when Rasulullah died, there was a major difference of opinion between Bilal and the ruling authority. How can you see this? A number of ways. Number one, Bilal never recited adhan for them. He didn't accept to recite adhan for Abu Bakr or for Umar at all. Number two, in a book called Ikhtiyar al-Rijal of Shaykh al-Tusi, and another book called Al-Istihab, okay? These two books have a famous discussion between Umar ibn Khattab and Bilal. Umar ibn Khattab came and told Bilal, Bilal, how dare you not give bay'ah to Abu Bakr when he is the one who freed you from your slavery? And Bilal replied, if he freed me from my slavery so that I serve him, then I'll come and serve him. But if he freed me from my slavery so that I serve him ahead of the man who's chosen on the day of Qadir, this I will not do. I don't mind being his slave. He's the one who's bought me. I'll work for him as a slave. But I will never give bay'ah to him. Never. And so because of this, they exiled him to where? Syria, Damascus. The only time a hadith saw he returned was when he saw a dream. He saw Rasulullah in his dream telling him, Bilal, you have left Medina and you have left my daughter Fatima alone. Fatima at that time had just been hit by the opposition. Bilal returned and he recited the famous adhan. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan. As soon as she heard ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, they said she felt unconscious. Because she yearned to hear Bilal's voice again. Okay? Therefore you find that Bilal opposed the ruling authority. And this was a very famous incident. And remember, Bilal, Salman, Abu Dhar, all of these, they all opposed the ruling authority. He settled here till about the 18th year of Hijrah, okay, until there was a plague in Syria at that time, and he had died because of that. So that was the history of Bilal. So if we all recite Surah Al-Fatiha here, Imam Salih has a hadith where he says, God bless Bilal, he loved us, the Ahl al-Bayt, and he loved Allah. Okay. He has a famous line of poetry which I want to narrate to all of you before we go. He said, I swear to God that if they make hyenas come onto my limbs, I will never give bay'ah to that man. Because I do not give bay'ah to people of bid'ah. Because I am not a man of bid'ah. Okay? So that is a famous piece of poetry of his about the authorities of the time. You ever want to question any of this?